All right, we're live.
Sweet.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Avgjoewatchreviews. We have our first live stream, and we have some very special guests. We do this every Friday at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. And we actually flip-flop the channels that we go on. So next week we're going to be on J-City Reviews YouTube channel.
That's right.
All right. So what I would like to do first, for anyone that doesn't know my guests, I would like to go around the board and introduce people who actually have them themselves. So we have Rock the Watch, Matt Stingray. You want to go first, my bud?
You're on mute, buddy.
You're on mute.
I am. What's up? Dave Schwartz is going on. Dave Schwartz is in the chat, man. He says he's getting a lot of echo. Yeah, Watch Lounge said a lot of echo.
All right. How do we combat that?
I'm muting myself. I'm going to mute. Whoever's not talking, let's try and mute and see if that works.
I'm having trouble even hearing Joe. It's so much echo.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that sounds a lot better.
It is a lot better.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, let's do that then. Whoever's not speaking, we're going to mute the microphone.
Rock on.
Just like the presidential debates. Ready?
So wait, what did you ask me?
I want you to just give me a 30-second commercial on who you are and what your channel is so that my subscribers who are on can subscribe to your channel.
Right on, man. Name's Matt Stingray. I run Rock the Watch channel. Check me out, man. Got a rock and roll theme. Review watches and all that kind of cool stuff. I'm that close. I need like 8 more people, man. Help me out to hit 500. Check me out. Hanging out with these dudes every Friday night. Check out our live streams. It's going to be awesome.
All right, Josh from J-City Reviews. You're up.
Yeah, that's me, Josh from J-City Reviews. Thanks for letting me put a little plug in for my channel here. Just like you guys, I like watches. I don't claim to be an expert by any means. Just enjoy the hobby and like showcasing things that I get and borrow from other people, whatever the case may be. And sometimes I do a fun video here and there. Done a sarcastic kind of satirical one on wish.com recently. That's hopefully gotten some laughs for some people. That was my hope. So like to have fun on the channel and always just trying to learn more about watches.
All right. Watch Chris. You're up, buddy.
What's up, guys? It's Watch Chris. How's it going? Yeah, I just have a channel where I review watches. I do a lot of news videos, and when there are new releases on watches, I kind of do quick videos, and I put out a video with some information on those watches. But I do a lot of reviews, a lot of affordable watches. I sort of run the gamut between affordable and mid-range and high-end watches. But I love micro brands, I love independent brands, and I love all different types of watches. So definitely check out my channel. I'm constantly putting up videos. I put up sometimes 7 videos a week, sometimes even more than that. So yeah, lots of content.
Awesome. And I assume anyone that's logged on is pretty much a subscriber of mine. But for those that don't know, I'm Average Joe, and we do more than just watch reviews. We do mini-series on destroying Casios. We do interviews, and now we're doing live streams. So glad you guys can join us. And I'd just like to actually dive into the topic at hand because it is definitely a hot topic, or at least I'm making it a hot topic today because there seems to be some misinformation, or should I say YouTube doesn't really give us a really distinct definition of what a paid promotion is. So I wanted to kind of go around the table and discuss what you guys feel it is and just kind of go from there. So Matt Stingray, you're up, buddy.
Right on, man. Well, being the youngest channel here, I don't have a lot of experience with that. I got a little bit, but I was always under the assumption that if you were compensated for your review, that's a paid review. So I don't know if that was free watches, money. I don't know exactly how that works. I'm like you, kind of confused on exactly how that whole thing works. I'm pretty sure that if somebody lends you a watch and you have to send it back, that is not a paid review. That might be a sponsored review, or maybe you're just supposed to mention it. I don't know. I'm kind of with Joe. It's kind of confusing. And I think, honestly, YouTube, no matter what the law is, they kind of follow their own thing. And if they don't like you doing something, they can shut you off like that. So I know a lot of channels are extra careful. And even if they get just a loaner watch in, they'll put the little paid promotion thing down in the corner. But that's a whole confusing topic for me. I've only had 4 or 5 maybe manufacturers' watches sent in that I had to send back, and a lot of that was thanks to Chris. Thanks, Chris. And some of the manufacturers helped out. So I've never been told to keep a watch, and never been paid to review anybody's products.
Yeah, so we actually have SoCal. He's saying, let me just get back to that. Here we go. So I love the fact that you guys are joining in and joining in on the topic and lending your feedback. So to SoCal Watch Reviews, to me, any product you get to keep or get paid to review, if it's borrowed, you're in the green, meaning you're okay, right? David Schwartz. He says, I totally agree. If a watch is loaned or borrowed, it should not be considered a paid promotion. So, yeah, thanks for the feedback, guys. Let's go to Mr. Josh. What do you say on the topic?
Yeah, I think I agree with everything that Matt said and what's being said in the chat here. But I think there is some confusion, honestly, with the policy. And Average Joe, you sent it over to us ahead of time to just glance through if we wanted to. And I did, and really it is a little confusing. It's not really clear, cut, and dry. And because of that, I don't know if they're doing that on purpose, but really YouTube has so much power. You know, if they want to just shut you down, they're going to do it and never bring you back. So I think it is something we have to be careful with and probably err on the side of caution, you know, just in case, to appease the YouTube gods, you know. I've never really received any free watches. I'm a small channel still. The first paid promotion, you might say, was just receiving straps the other day from Straps Co. And thanks to Miguel for getting me in touch with them. But that's the only thing I've done. I've gotten watches loaned into the channel. Very few and far between right now, but I have had a few of those where I have to give them back. To me, that doesn't even touch the paid promotion at all. It's not even in the same category. So I think we are safe with the loaners for sure. But I don't think I don't know the ins and outs of all the watch channels and the big named ones, but it would be strange to me to hear about watch companies actually paying someone to do a review. Maybe you guys have more experience and knowledge in that area. Maybe that can lead into Chris, but that would be strange to me. I don't know.
Well, what do you say, Chris?
Well, I was talking about this before. I have been on emails where other YouTubers were on the email larger than my channel, because I really don't have a large channel. I have a small channel still. It's still I have under 7,000 followers, so it's not like a huge channel. But where other YouTubers who are bigger than me were on an email basically being said, you know, hey, we have some watches that we want you guys to review. And they would respond with everyone on the email and say, my fee is X and I require 2 watches. Things like that. So personally, I don't ask for money for reviews, but I, of course, will accept a watch. I think I think most reviewers will accept a watch. But when I do accept a watch, I usually say that it was sent into the channel for review. I do get to keep it. If it is a loaned watch, I usually mention that it's loaned, but sometimes I don't say that. And I don't specifically ask to receive a watch. I will reach out to a brand, or a brand will reach out to me, and I will say, yeah, I'll review the watch. I don't necessarily say, hey, I only review watches that I get to keep. I know that there are channels that do that, and I don't fault for anybody for doing what they want to do, and that's what they want to do, fine. But I will take a watch. I don't care, but I'll take a loaner just as much, because I'm going to give you the same review no matter what. And the thing about loaners is that it's not really, that's definitely not a paid, and I agree with the chat and I agree with everybody else. A loaner is a loaner. I mean, if you go to a website like a Blog to Watch or Hodinkee, they are given hundreds of watches a year. They never put that as a paid promotion. They never put that as a sponsored content. That is just a watch that came in for review and it did not leave their office. That happens 100% of the time. In fact,
Right.
Ariel Adams, if you watch, if you follow him, he did about, I would say I think it was like 10 videos where he just went through his collection. 90% of his collection are watches that he received for free through reviews. And he never mentions that he gets to keep those watches. And those are not paid sponsors because, as you guys know, I actually work for one watch brand. I'm starting to work for another watch brand. And I'm just a U.S. representative. And if I make videos about them, I mention that I'm a U.S. representative, and I make that clear. Those aren't sponsored videos because they don't pay me to make those videos. I don't get paid by the brands whatsoever, only if I make the sale of a watch, and that's very clear. But they actually pay places like a Blog to Watch, Hodinkee, Time and Tide, Worn and Wound, all of these large watch review outlets to write a review about them. So literally, they will write. They will not actually take a watch. They will say, no, we want $10,000, we want $5,000, we want $2,000, and we will write a review for your watch. And the author of that review will be sponsored. So in other words, it's a sponsorship from the brand.
Right.
But there are people, celebrities who wear watches, who are given watches, and you don't know that. That's just the way it is. When they post a picture with their watch on their wrist, that's technically not a paid sponsorship, but they are given that watch. If they're being also paid by the brand, that's a different story. So that's where the gray area is, and I agree it's a gray area. And if you receive a watch, and you're given that watch, whether or not it's given to you at the time, usually during the review, I will always say that this was given to me. But I think that for some reason YouTube leaves that as a gray area, the gifted watch or the gifted item, because there are big YouTubers out there who get a lot of free things, like Ariel Adams, and he does not ever mention that those watches are given to him for free, but they are.
Okay.
Like Formex is a big brand. They give away watches all the time.
Right.
You never know.
All right. Well, let's move on to the next. Josh. One more thing.
Do you mind if I add a little bit something to it? It's more of a question. I know you're hosting, Joe, so I hope you don't mind. I was just thinking, like, being paid money. I feel like if someone said, "Hey, I want to pay you to review something," that would be something that would sway me, and how I look at a product, if I'm looking at it objectively or not, being paid, knowing that I'm being paid for it. But I don't look at it the same way if they're giving me a watch and saying, hey, will you review this? I think there's a difference there. Do you guys feel like there's a difference? Because being given something for free is somewhat of a payment, really. But to me, it feels different. I don't think I would accept someone reaching out to me and say, hey, we're going to pay you. We want to pay you this amount of money to review something. Will you accept? I'm not sure I would, because I wouldn't feel comfortable. I wouldn't feel like I could give an honest review in that sense. But if they say, hey, we'll give you a watch, you want to review it, I don't know.
Right.
I'd feel okay with that. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I hear you on that. You know, you're actually making me think there in regards to if someone were to come at me and pay me, then I'm feeling like I'm more of an employee marketing their product and not being a reviewer. Whereas if they're saying, hey, we have this watch, you can keep it once you're done, it is a different feeling. But yet, in my opinion, I feel like they're both a form of paid promotions. And I think Matt Stingray, you said this, I don't know why I call you Matt Stingray, but Matt Stingray.
That's cool.
By the way, I wanted to ask you, Stingray, is that from Cobra Kai or is that
Corvettes, man.
There you go. Done with me.
Corvette dude. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, I didn't mean to get off topic there.
I've owned like 5 Corvettes in my life, so I love Corvettes, man.
So yeah, it is a gray area, and YouTube kind of gives you like that rope, but I feel like that with that same rope that they can hang you, and you could be deleted in no time. So, in my opinion, I feel like it's better to be safe than sorry. And when in doubt, just put paid promotion in there if you have any type of question. But that's just me. I mean, I'm not telling anybody else how to run their channel. So, but I do want to get on to the next one, which is, do you guys feel as though there is an innate bias, though, with a paid promotion? Do you feel as though that creates some type of bias for you guys to maybe shine the product in a more positive light because this particular vendor chose you to represent the watch? So let's just go in the same order again. Matt?
So what you're saying, that you would maybe a better review?
Do you feel as though you are biased because you're giving something for free?
No, because if it's a piece of junk, I won't try to savage the thing, because it's somebody's hard work, even if it doesn't live up to your standards or a lot of people's standards. But I'll try not to be a complete jerk and just destroy it, but point out issues with the watch. Although there is that thing, I guess people might be worried that they might not be able to work with a brand in the future. You know what I mean? If somebody lends something to you from a major brand and you're thinking, wow, I could have a relationship with this brand and continue to get watches in for review and maybe get a free one or whatever it is, and they send you a watch and it's not that great, if you savage it, they might say, yeah, you're not getting any more. And you do that enough, you burn enough bridges, and you won't have anybody loaning you watches anymore. You have to buy all your own. So I guess maybe there's some people that might, weigh that as a possibility. But I try to be I know all you guys do, and I think most watch reviewers on YouTube do. Some might lean, be a little bit touchy with it, but I think most watch reviewers, and especially the ones in the chat and here on the screen, try to be as honest as possible.
Yeah, I just have SoCal up here. His feedback. You can't be, but you need to be objective when reviewing it. So if you don't like something, there's a way to point out the flaws, constructive criticism. I think that's actually the way that I feel.
100%.
I think he really hit that on the money. So thanks for that comment. All right, Josh, what do you think, bud?
Yeah, first off, I think a company, if they can't take criticism, from a YouTuber, then they're not a very strong company, And like you said, Matt, not bashing them and being mean and rude and all of that, but just pointing out legitimate things that are concerning, or even just personal preference things that you don't like. That's called an honest review. And if a company can't handle that, then don't give your watches out at all, and don't let them be reviewed. But I think most companies understand that we're real guys and we do honest reviews, and most of the other channels on YouTube are the same. And so I think most companies understand that and they can handle it. I don't have any firsthand experience being given a watch, but some people know, that I was loaned a watch from the Ball Watch Company. For me, that was huge. I was so surprised that they said yes. And so they send this $3,300 watch to me. And it's brand new. And they say, wear it, resize the bracelet, do whatever you want. Don't worry about getting scratches on it. Very, very kind. Didn't tell me anything I had to say or not say. Just had me fill out a little form, sign my name, saying I'll send it back to him, basically. And I did that. But honestly, Matt, I was really feeling a little bit of a tension because it was a new relationship. And right now, I don't know if I'm going to get more watches from him. We still haven't communicated that yet. But I felt a little tension when reviewing that watch, because if I said something they didn't like, maybe they won't send me any more watches. And there was one specific issue with that watch that I had to bring out, which I was kind of reluctant to.
Misaligned bezel?
Yeah, the bezel.
Yeah.
The bezel did not line up right. And it was a unique bezel, the world time bezel. And it was 150 click bezel. I'd never heard of that before. But I contacted them ahead of time before I made the review, and I said, the bezel's not lining up. Is that normal? And they got back to me and said, it's almost impossible to get it to line up. And I was a little taken back by that. They said it's not impossible, but it's almost impossible. And they said if someone had an issue with it, a customer, they would do everything they could to take care of it and treat the customer right if they were concerned about that. But I did point it out in my review is what I'm trying to say. And whether or not they don't like it, that's fine. But I think they're a company that can take that kind of criticism and those notes of caution if someone's really looking to buy that watch. Because for some people, $3,300 watch, you want everything to be perfect, including that bezel. So I don't know, that's just a first personal experience for me.
Cool. What about you, Chris?
Sorry, I'm on mute. Yeah, I agree with what a lot of what everybody is saying. Two things, and I have a little story I could tell also. But one of the things that Matt Stingray said, essentially, this is a business. This is someone's business. So I'm not out to bash anybody's watch. If I don't like something and it's subjective, I really try not to bash it because it's something that I don't really like or I don't get. And we used an example. We were actually talking before we got on the live stream. We mentioned the watch by Nove. And I reviewed the watch on my channel, and it really wasn't a watch that I like to wear. And I said it in the review, it wouldn't be something that I would wear. However, I didn't intentionally say it was, I didn't say it was ugly. I didn't say it was any of those subjective things. It was really just sort of my take on the watch itself. I thought it was well made. I thought it felt nice. I thought it was, it had a pretty good standard. The bezel was nice, all of those things, but the watch wasn't really for me. So I didn't just outright bash it. Did they like the review I made? Maybe. I don't know. I really didn't ask them for feedback on it. And if they didn't, that's fine. If they did, that's fine too. I don't know. I try and keep it, as subjective as possible. I'm trying to look at it from the standpoint of a person who is just seeing this watch for the first time, which I am usually, and I'm not trying to, kill somebody's business, but I'm going to give my opinion, but I'm not going to, lay into a brand. Now, there is one brand that reached out to me, has reached out to me more than once, and it's probably a brand that you guys know because there's probably a commercial that played for it right before this video. Filippo Loretti. Are you guys familiar? Hey, you guys are on mute, so we couldn't hear your reaction. So,
Hey, Chris, is this leading into the banner down below?
yes.
Okay. Okay.
Should I get into it? Has ever turned down a paid promotion and why? Sorry, Joe. I did not. I didn't see it. I was just talking.
Hey, man.
Okay. So first off, personally, I don't accept money for a review. So if I have been offered money and I don't take money for a review. I'll take, like I said, I've taken watches in for that I have not returned, and I mentioned that in the review, or or something that maybe I'll give away. However, the brand Filippo Loretti actually reached out to me, and they said that they wanted to send me 2 watches, one to give away and one to keep. Now, I knew about the brand, and I was grappling with it, whether or not I should, even take it in. And I know I've seen other videos, and I would want to be very objective about it and subjective about it. And I don't want to, say anything very bad about the watch. But anyway, I said, you know what? Send me a contract. I'll read the contract, and we'll go from there. They sent me a contract, and in the contract, it said that they would give me $500, and then that they had to actually review the review prior to it going out and approve it. And if I didn't send it out, then I wouldn't get the $500, and I would have to return the watches. So I said to them, listen, I don't want the money. That's not how I operate. I would like to do the giveaway, and I would like to, you could send me the watch to keep, but I don't want the $500, and I don't want to have to send you my review prior to doing it, because the review is going to be the review. You either have to accept that or you don't. And obviously they said to me, we don't accept that. I said, well, then we don't have a deal, because I'm not going to do a review for you. Simple as that. So I never did a review for them, and I never did. So now here's where it comes into and I'm not trying to call out other watch reviewers, but the Time Teller, I am sure, was contacted the exact same way that I was, except he went into this scathing video where he dogged the brand and went into a very, very long video where he just made fun of every aspect of everything that they do. That they're not Italian because they're not, and all this different stuff. I would never do that. I wouldn't do it. And I feel like, what they did was by no means good. I think a lot of people, and I've seen reviews of those watches on YouTube, and they have, and they give them good reviews. And obviously those aren't, and I don't know if they put paid review or if they, whatever, but those are paid reviews.
So I had to unmute. I actually have a story, and I want to mute her. Sorry. I'll get feedback. There we go. So I actually have a story. I'm not going to name the brand, but they sent me a watch to review. I did the unboxing, and they saw the unboxing, and I had a couple of honest things to say about it. And so they emailed me, and they said, when you do the full review, can you please send us your concerns prior to? So me, as an honest watch reviewer, I packed the watch up and I sent it right back to them and never did the review. So, that's just not the way I do business. So what about you, Matt? Have you ever had an experience that way?
No, I actually was contacted by, and I'll say the brand, Pagani Design. They send out emails like, oh, we'll give you 30% 20% off or something, you do our watches, whatever. I just ignore the emails because I've actually purchased some of those on my own. And like you say, you're not going to savage, but a watch brand. But then I got, I was thinking as you guys were talking, and sometimes I like to play devil's advocate. And I say to myself sometimes, do some of these brands actually deserve this? Because if you're purposely trying to pass yourself, in the case of like what Chris was talking about, Filippo Loretti, you're purposely trying to pass yourself off as a old Italian brand and you're just not. It's a Chinese watch and it's in the, I mean, we call it a fashion watch and like the movement and the Daniel Wellington. And do some of these brands deserve this? Sometimes I struggle with it. Sometimes I really do want to just say this watch is the biggest piece of, and right on camera and smash the sucker or take it out and shoot it or something. Because I think some of these companies just don't care. They just try to pass off like there's, Chris mentioned a commercial. I've been seeing a ton of commercials for, and I'll say this brand too, Vincero watches. Yes. And I'm like, and the commercials they have, they're like, are you tired of, and they always go off this same model. You got to cut out the middleman. Swiss watches, the only reason Tudor, Rolex, Omega are expensive is because they go through a middleman, and our watches are just as good. And I'm sitting here like, well, that's a lie. So I don't know. I do the same thing as you guys. I try not to really go nuts, but sometimes, just playing devil's advocate, sometimes I think they deserve it a little bit.
What about you, Josh? What do you think?
Yeah, I can agree with you on that, Matt. I think some of those fashion type brands deserve a little beating up here and there. But I'll let some other guys do that. I don't know if I want to get into it, but I can agree with that. I don't really have any experience in this question, Joe, so I don't know if I have anything to add. So,
guys, for those YouTubers out there that are watching us right now that are just first starting, and I'm going to start this off with Chris because he has the most experience. He's got over 6,000 subs. He's got a laundry list of great relationships. So you're probably the best person to ask this question and give advice to those fellow YouTubers out there that are just starting. Can someone with 500 subscribers get products to promote?
Sure, absolutely. The thing that I did when I had 500 subscribers is that I reached out to brands and I asked them, please lend me a watch. And they ignored me. And then I sent them an email when I had 600 subscribers, and then they would ignore me. And then I would send it when I had 800 subscribers, and then maybe they would get back to me and say, how long would you need the watch? And I would say to them, I'll make a review in a day and I'll send it back to you. I will make it as fast as possible. Whatever you need. I said I like to keep it for 2 weeks, but if that's not a possibility, I'll do whatever I have to do. So that's, Mark from Long Island Watches, he lives pretty close to where I live. And, I emailed him. I just said, hey, let me borrow a watch. And he came back to me immediately. And he was just like, you know what? No one asked me to borrow a watch. Everybody asked me for a free watch. He goes, you're one of the first guys who reached out to me to ask me to borrow a watch. I'll send you a watch tomorrow. Which one do you want? So I was like, okay, great. I want this one. He goes, okay, how long do you need it for? I said, 2 weeks. He goes, you can keep it for a month. Just don't destroy it. I said, okay, no problem. But I kept it for 3 weeks or something, and I sent it back. So, that's a great watch, by the way. Yes. If you have 500 subscribers, if you have 200 subscribers, if you have 1,000 subscribers, you have 10,000 subscribers. Just you got to go for it and just reach out and see what you can get. And then another way of doing it is just making friends with watches, friends who collect watches have a good collection that you could borrow some watches and start reviewing.
Hey, can I just say something, Joe?
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
It also helps for if the community sticks together. And I'm gonna call some. I want to give shout outs to some people in this live stream. Everybody here, because I'm the smallest channel here, and I think I started February of this year. And if it wasn't for Chris, I think I had like 200 subscribers, and he reached out to me and hit me up and said, "Hey, man, do you want to do some collaborations? Do you want to borrow some watches? Do you want my help?" And I said, 100%. And that helps a lot too. David Schwartz in the Schwartz Force, man, that guy, he helped me out. He put a video out and said, "Hey," asked his subscribers to go check out all these channels. I think it was probably 20 channels. And I was in there. I was like, what is this? I started getting subscribers. I think I got like 15 or 20 off of that. And I'm like, who is this guy? I never heard of his channel because YouTube didn't promote it. They promote the top 6 big ones. You'll see their videos all the time. And so it's stuff like that, man. When you get the community helping everybody out, these type of live streams, I get exposed to the bigger channels, audiences. Everybody gets exposed because even as small as my channel is, there's probably somebody who subscribed to my channel that's never heard of you guys because of the way the YouTube algorithm is and stuff like that. So that's one way to get exposure out there, to get watches and lend people watches. Chris has lent me watches. Chris has turned me on to manufacturers. I've lent him some watches in. I told you guys I got a list of watches. I'll lend you guys. You can check them out. And that's one of the best ways I see.
Yeah. Yeah, Miguel mentioned down in the comments consistency. Reach out to as many watch companies as you can. I know me personally, I'm on Instagram, so I'm looking at photos of watches all the time. So if I really like the look of a watch, I reach out to the company. There's one company in particular I thought I had no chance at. I reached out to them, Christopher Ward. They're sending me out a bronze Trident. It's and then we also help each other out. The Watch Fam, Christopher Ward. Then in turn, they saw a video with Josh in it. Josh actually has a Christopher Ward. Sorry to spoil that for you. It's actually wearing it right now. Actually, does everyone want to do a wrist check? By the way, I did not do the customary wrist check. So, Josh, what are you wearing for us? What is that from Christopher Ward?
Yeah, thanks, Joe. I was going to mention that you got me in touch with him. So, yeah, this is the Christopher Ward C65 Dartmouth, and it's a COSC certified chronometer. So, something I really like about it, and I'm loving the oversized crown. I don't know if you can see it. The whole watch kind of gives me Tudor Black Bay, the blue version, feel a little bit. So, really enjoying it.
It's a nice looking piece. What you got going on there, Chris?
I have on. It's hard to do this. Let me take it off. I have on the Ithius. You see that?
That looks nice. That looks nice.
This literally came today, so I've been wearing it. It's a blue dial. The lume on this is absolutely crazy. And then I also was wearing today the one that I showed you guys right before, and I just dropped a video for this today, and that's the Merkur FOD with the Seagull ST2901.
Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice.
What about you, Matt? I got to unmute myself. Sorry.
Tudor Black Bay, man. The red bezel.
Sweet.
That is my future watch, buddy. We're gonna have to work out a trade one day when you get to that baby. But I actually have a watch that you might be interested in. So this is the Omega Seamaster Planet Ocean.
Yeah, that thing's crazy.
So
that thing's awesome.
I don't know, man. We have to talk offline about a trade, possibly. Maybe not for this one, but something else. So we are 40 minutes in. I figured at this point maybe we can freestyle. And Josh, you looks like you're chiming right on in, man. What you got?
Yeah, I just wanted to add to that previous question about how to what was it? How to get sponsorships or whatever.
Did I skip you, by the way? I didn't mean to do that.
Well, we went to the wrist checks, but that's fine. I just wanted to add a few things.
That was unintended.
No, just basically echo everything you guys said and what's been said in the comments. Matt mentioned David Schwartz, how he mentioned a bunch of channels in one of his videos, and that's how I found you, Matt. That's how I found the Rock the Watch channel. And so through David, I found you and subscribed and went over there like that. So that networking and the community, the watch fam, you might say, is really integral. And I think just start commenting on other people's channels, get to know other people,
100%.
start supporting other people, and you know, you'll become part of the family, and then you know, people want to help you out, and you can help other people out. So
there's one right there. I want to call out that guy. Watch Up 69, Mr. Rangeman. Are you? So he's in the chat, man. It's 3 a.m.
3 a.m. in the morning, man.
UK, man.
Thank
Rock
you so
and
much,
roll,
man. That's dedication.
Awesome.
That dude, that cat has got a hilarious channel.
He
You
does.
don't know anything about G-Shocks? That's your guy right there. That's the total source. G-Shock right there.
Anybody ever watched Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the guy that narrated it right there.
Yeah.
You'll know what I'm talking about if you ever saw it.
Yep.
So I wanted to, as I say, I wanted to kind of go just freestyle and just whatever's on your mind. If there's something in the comment section you guys want to highlight or talk about, I'm going to leave the forum up to you guys, man. What do you think?
Well, I got one for you. I want to ask all you guys. Watch wearing habits. Are you like, I was going to use this for a topic, but I thought, I'll just ask the question now. Watch wearing habits. Are you guys like, you get a watch, wear it for one day? Do you change multiple watches per day? Do you match them to your outfits? Because I'm all about coordinating. You got to coordinate. But I'm like, I'll get up in the morning. I got a watch that I shower with. I get up in the morning and have a watch, wear a watch to work, have a different lunch watch if I'm home. I'll switch them sometimes a bunch of times a day.
These are how many watches I wore just today.
Yes. Some people are like, I'll go a month with this one watch and then let the rest sit. I feel like they're all getting ignored if I don't switch them up.
Yeah, that's actually a good question. Me personally, I have been known to wear maybe a watch in the morning. Maybe I'll change it up in the afternoon. I think it also just depends on like what activity you're doing. Like if I'm painting, you know, I'm not going to wear a watch with a leather strap, you know. And as much as I love these sailcloth straps, I'm not going to wear that, you know, doing something dirty. Even though these can get wet and they're durable, you know. So it depends, I think, on what activity you're doing. So I don't know. What do you say, guys? Josh, Chris.
Ever since COVID, it's been easy to change watches constantly because I'm just sitting around a pile of watches. So basically how I live, in a pile of watches. But you know, when I had to go into an office, which was some time ago, actually I started going back to the office just recently. But now I'm back to just wearing one watch, you know, watch per day. But like today, I work from home, so I have the two watches I already showed you. I have another watch here. This is, I don't even keep my watches. You know, this is another watch. This is on that Beads of Rice bracelet from Straps Co. This is a chronograph D, vintage chronograph D. You can see it's a thin hand wound Avgjoewatchreviews. But yeah, I tend to gravitate towards dive watches. I tend to gravitate towards watches with bracelets. And for some reason, I always switch to a strap and then I switch back to a bracelet. And it all depends on what I'm doing that day. Yeah. If it's raining out, I wear a dive watch.
Yeah, I think it's the same for me. You know, I do sometimes I try generally to match the watch with the clothes in some way. You know, if I'm wearing black shoes. I usually don't wear like a blue dialed watch or something like that. Although today I broke that rule because this is a blue dialed watch and my shoes were black, but I had to wear this one. But I wear mostly dive style watches. I think a lot of Casios. You know, I wear the Casio $20 World Time quite a bit, and the watch I wear the most is technically a field watch. I think the Citizen ProMaster Tough is a field style watch, but I don't usually change throughout the day. Very rarely, you know. Sometimes I'll wear a watch 3, 4, 5 days in a row.
Let's take a question from the chat. Kevin S. asked, what are your guys' thoughts on Oars going with an in-house movement? Anybody?
It's a pretty legitimate movement. I think that Oars, you know, are definitely trying to compete with brands like Tudor, and that's definitely, they have Tudor in their sights, and they constantly are coming out with new. They have. That's not their first in-house movement. They've made other in-house movements, but they most of them are hand wound. This is their first automatic, and the architecture looks a lot like Tudor's in-house movement, which, you know, Breitling used. So, you know, they're also trying to take on Breitling. They're trying to take on Tudor. You know, like Mont Blanc is trying to take on. Everybody's trying to take on Tudor.
They're trying to move upstream.
Upstream.
Mm-hmm. So we have a question from Junior. Let me get to the There we go. Junior asks, are any of you guys trying to do this full time for a living? So I'll start. That is actually my 5-year plan. I think just like with any business plan, you have to have at least a 5-year plan. You can't expect to get results right away. And, you know, even though I started in 2018, I really didn't start to upload videos consistently until 2019. So technically, 1 year in. So yeah, that is definitely my ultimate goal. But right now, it's definitely giving me some, give me some pocket change to, buy new watches, upgrade equipment, whatever it is, and so that's my take. What about let's go to Mr. Stingray over here.
I mean, I got a long way to go. I thought about it. It'd be pretty cool to get paid to do this, but there's definitely a business ideas floating around and around this whole thing. So yeah, dude, it would definitely be cool. I'm not gonna hang my entire hat on it, and like Joe said, it definitely is a journey. It's gonna be far on down the road, but it would be something that would be cool. I would be down for it.
Absolutely. What about you, Josh?
Not necessarily a full living, I don't think, is something I even desire. I love making the videos, doing it for fun, learning, being part of the community. And now that my channel has been monetized just for, 3 or 4 months now, it is nice to get a little bit of money. And so, of course, I want to see that grow and, keep climbing upward and becoming more and more. So it would be nice to have, maybe a little side income is what I would be happy with, and just try to keep that growing. So.
What about you, Chris? You definitely have more subscribers today. So is that your goal?
I mean, I don't see it happening, but I would love for that to happen. But it's the idea of constantly creating content for years to come. It's a lot. I don't know. I mean, it would be great if that could happen. I would love to start my own brand and my own business and everything. But again, like I said, it's it could happen. But it's not something that I'm planning on at all. But I like you. I started a little over a year ago. I started uploading somewhere in the beginning of I don't even remember. It's about a year ago, a little over a year ago, like a year and 3 months or something like that. I started uploading actually consistently, you know, things have gone well, but you know, what's good, what's bad, I don't know. You know, there's way bigger channels out there where they are working full time and they are doing this on the side, and it's sort of like a side hustle, I guess, or something that, you know, and Random Rob right there. I work a day job, 40 plus hours. So, and that's Random Rob. I mean, he's got 45,000 or 50,000 subscribers, something like that. Yeah. You know, and that's got to tell you, you know. So it's tough. I'm sure that there are a few YouTubers that do, but I don't think they're in the watch space. I think that other YouTubers who are in other lines of sort of lifestyle, travel, like I watch a guy, Bald and Bankrupt, who is a travel blogger. If you guys don't know him, check him out. I think he's got like 2 million, 3 million, I don't even know. You know, when he uploads a video, he's getting 1 million plus views on it every single time. And that person is not, he's doing that full time. That's his job. But
Chris, let me ask the panel something. Watches are a niche. So do you feel as though maybe, you know, switching up the niche to maybe, I don't know, something else, like becoming a blogger and, you know, just doing outrageous stuff just to get views? I mean, is that probably more the way to go? I mean, it kind of looks like it would be really difficult for a watch reviewer to become successful. What do you guys think?
I think you have to. So this is actually my second YouTube channel. I started one that was actually called Matt Stingray, and it was about Corvette content. And it started right about, there's this huge Corvette show they have every year called Corvettes of Carlisle. The largest Corvette show in the world. Over 5,000 Corvettes show up every year in Carlisle, PA. So I said, I'm going to start a YouTube channel. I have a passion for Corvettes. I'm going to get into this whole thing. And I found out it's really hard to make content. You got to be driving around a lot. And I got a family. I got full-time job, got the whole deal. So it's real hard to come up with content. And I thought, well, what are some of my other passions and hobbies and music and stuff like that? And I said, well, I'm into watches, super passionate about that. Try to be as knowledgeable as possible. And you have a lot of fun doing it. I don't think if you just try to go after the making a living at YouTube thing, like doing that traveling or what, shoot, I saw this thing that said a lot of the travel blogger YouTubers are hurting real bad right now through COVID because they can't go nowhere. So, and with watches, you have endless content. Even if you got to come out of your pocket and buy one, you got endless content. So there's that, you know, and if you're passionate about it, I think it's the market though. I think that for travel, you could reach so many more people. I mean, my mother could watch the travel, and my brother who doesn't give a crap about watches, and whoever else. You know what I mean? And I'll watch it, but not everybody gives a crap about watches. That's the problem. And number one, number two, and I do. And I'm not going to make a travel watch. I can't parlay this into something else. This is something that I've been interested in my whole life, and it's not something that I'm just going to, you know, because it's just this is what I could talk about it for hours. That's why I'm here on Fridays, because I want to talk to somebody about it. But the thing is, like Hoovie's Garage. Now cars I could talk about. Hoovie's Garage, Tavrik, well, I forget his name. I subscribe to Tavares.
Yeah,
that's it. I can never. You know, I subscribe to these guys. I watch all of their videos. I am insane about cars. I love cars. I couldn't do a channel about it because, you know, after I buy the second car, my wife's going to kill me. So I can't. You know, I could buy a watch and she's in the chat, I think. But I could buy a watch and she'd be like, "Is that a new watch?" I'd be like, "No, I had this for 2 years. What are you talking about? It's not new." No.
You know, you guys make really good points, Matt, Chris. and even my fiance in the chat, you got to do what you love, because this is a long haul. This is not a sprint to the finish line as fast as you can. If you're going to be in it for the long haul, you could possibly become pretty successful, especially if you really love and have a passion for it. So, really, really good points. Josh, you got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree with you guys. When I first started my channel, I was thinking, oh, I'll do like just broad reviews on many different things. And that's why I kind of named my channel like just kind of broad reviews, not like watch reviews. But I quickly found out that that would take so much work. And so I wanted to just narrow it down to one niche and kind of leave it there, because if I tried to put my hands in all these different kind of pots, I wouldn't be able to do it. I think Mr. Rangeman has a good question there. Can you spoil the passion of watches if you make it your job? I think that's a good question.
Yeah, I think that goes with any hobby. Once your hobby becomes something you get paid for, do you truly enjoy it anymore? Because I used to be an avid painter. I used to do landscape painting, and I did it for a hobby where I would just have those creative juices and create whatever I wanted. But once I started getting requests from people and getting paid for it, I actually soon sadly quit, because it actually did not become fun for me, and it was just something that I lost passion for. So I think that's a really excellent point. You guys have any thoughts on that?
I can see that. I can see where that could happen. It gets tiring. It used to be, little story, it used to be in a rock band. I was actually in quite a few rock bands, but and had a ton of fun and all that other kind of stuff. But once it becomes, I think you guys are right, once it almost becomes like work, it doesn't become fun anymore, because work almost seems like you have to do it instead of you wanting to do it. You know what I mean? So I can absolutely see that as something happening.
And you know what? This live stream is actually therapeutic for myself, because, I didn't really look at it that way. So I'm glad that we're talking about this. I mean, look, it does bring some extra income in, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. And maybe that's the way it'll stay. Like what Josh said, it's just a really cool hobby that, whatever happens, happens, right?
I think also the opposite of Mr. Rangeman's question is, if you enjoy it and it does end up becoming your job, then it's not going to feel like a job because you enjoy it so much. People say all the time when they love their job, they don't feel like they work a day in their life because they love what they do. And I think that could probably happen too. So I think it could go either way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Good point. Keep it fun. Keep it fun. Well, we're reaching the 1 hour point. Does anybody have any final things they'd like to say before we go here?
Real quick, have you got it reminded me of having all these cool YouTube channels in our chat. Have you guys seen, I think it's a relatively new channel, Pride and Pinion. Have you seen that guy's channel?
No.
Oh, you got to check that. That guy is hilarious.
Mostly reaction.
Yeah,
videos.
He does mostly reaction videos to like people's collections. And I think I don't know if he's Scottish or
I think he's Irish.
Irish, is that what it is? Oh man, he will like savage producer Michael and stuff. Talking about going back to our early conversation, this dude doesn't care. He savages. Like he reviews Floyd Mayweather's collection. He's only got like 6 or 8 videos, but they're hilarious. You guys have got to check him out. It's hilarious.
Awesome. Yeah, he is kind of funny. He's a watch expert. I think he claims to be one. I think he's a dealer too.
I think so. I think he has his own, or
he's
works
a
for
jeweler of some
kind.
kind. So he knows a lot about the industry for sure.
Now, I know, Chris, you mentioned you like cards and you like card channels. Let's finish off by maybe just going stating what channel you guys watch on your free time, besides just watches, but something outside of watches. Matt?
I'm subscribed to, like Chris said, Hoovie's Garage. That's a good one. Doug DeMuro he's probably the biggest car channel.
Yep.
VinWiki's a real good one. Tavarish. I'm trying to think. Street Speed 717.
Mm-hmm.
I subscribe to that guy's channel. There's a a bunch more. I also into the Second Amendment, real important to me. So I got a lot of firearms related channels, like the Military Arms channel, and actually met that guy. I don't know if you guys have ever, if you're into that, and you ever heard this guy called Sush 00. He does reviews. He's probably got close to 1 million subscribers. I met him at this gun rights rally in Virginia. Got a picture with him. That was kind of cool. But
Right.
yeah, mine is watches, cars, guns, guitars. So I got a couple guitarists, Steve Vai, and some of these other big guitar players that I follow. But that's pretty much my limit of YouTube. I also sometimes will just dive into the whole of YouTube and just see where the rabbit hole goes and just go on some random stuff, see where it takes me, just to see kind of crazy stuff I can find on there.
So for me, you mentioned a couple of the channels. Doug DeMuro is probably one of my favorite car channels. I do like Matt Moran. I like Redline Reviews. I'm definitely a big car junkie. So those are excellent. Autovlog, I don't know if you've ever seen him, out of Pittsburgh. Good guy. Active self-protection. That's a good one. It teaches you a lot about just your environment and just being careful and just what to look out for. It's a really cool channel. Really teaches you a lot. What about you guys? Josh, Chris?
Yeah, for me, a lot of those same ones with the cars, I've watched before. I don't know what you guys think of the Strad Man. Have you seen any of his videos? I've been subscribed to him for quite a while. He's kind of cool to follow. Cool story with his life and where he's been and how big he is now.
Yeah, he lived out of his car for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, a lot of car stuff. I like cars. I think like the average guy does. But I'm into guns too, but I don't subscribe to too many. I have another channel that I think most of my subscriptions for that are on my other channel. Yeah, that's it for me.
I like this question right here from Honest Watch Reviews. Did anyone else ever almost start a channel on a different topic? Now, Josh, I know you actually do have an inactive coin YouTube channel.
Yep.
Do you want to promote that?
It's inactive, but it's called Coin Quest. If anybody wants to look at it.
Hey, man, it might blow up now, man. We have 22 viewers, man. You might get 22 subs.
You can check it out if you want.
All right, but anybody else? For you, Chris?
Yeah, like I said, I got that one Matt Stingray channel. There's probably, 20, 30 videos. I haven't posted in like a year because I kind of switched all my entire focus over here. But it's Corvette content and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's still active.
It's
but
still
I don't
active,
do nothing with
but
it.
I don't do nothing with it.
What about you, Chris?
I always wanted to do a car channel, but like I said, I think people would just be bored of seeing my same car over and over again, and I don't know how. I guess if you're doing a car channel, you have to like completely invest and have to know a lot of people with cars, and then it's not like calling up Ford and just saying, hey, new Mustang, let me it's just not the way it works. So I've always been into watches, so it was a natural thing for me to jump on and do a watch channel. And I think we talked about this in a past call, but I just was sitting around with all my watches, and I was just like, I'm going to put a video of one of these watches up, and I did it. And then a few weeks later, month later, 2 months later, I put another one up, and then I think it was like the fourth one actually people watched it and had gotten a couple of views, and I was like, oh, this is cool. So that was it. But cars, I love cars, and I've always been, it's been cars and watches. Travel too, like I said, Bald and Bankrupt, definitely check out that guy. He's awesome. He just goes to like crazy places. He doesn't go like really like nice places. He goes to like weird places in Russia that are just like it's really funny, but definitely check it out. And Smoking Tire is another one that I like also.
Look at that, Josh! You got a sub, man. The Rangeman just subbed to your coin channel.
Thank you. Don't expect much from that.
So for me, watches were just easy. I've always loved watches, and I just had so many that I knew I'd had content for years. So, and I'm so inundated with content that it's a good problem to have. But I did contemplate, and you guys would never believe this, so this is the first time I'm revealing this. I actually can make my own sushi. I've never been taught. I'm self-taught. So I was going to have my own sushi channel, but that was going to be very expensive, and it's a lot of work, and it's very messy, and I knew that I would probably do a couple episodes, and I'd probably quit. So I wanted to do something that I could really consistently be in, you know?
I was a sushi chef.
Were you really?
Yeah. I've had two careers in my life. I started out in the restaurant business, and I worked in my father had a restaurant when he was alive, and then I moved to Florida. I worked at Disney World, yes, and there I took an apprenticeship, and I actually worked as a sushi chef there, and then I came back to New York, and I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Nobu. I opened up Nobu 57 in New York City, and I was a chef there, and then I worked at a couple other restaurants in New York City, and then I moved into a different career. But yeah, I was a sushi chef for a while.
That's funny. Nice.
That's awesome, guys. So we're an hour and 5 minutes. So let's call it quits. And guys, I want to thank everybody for joining us today. We had a really lively chat. I really appreciate my special guest, or should I say, they're not my special guest because we do this every Friday. So I hosted this week. Next week, go on to Josh's J City Reviews channel. He's going to promote that this week. So I want to wish everybody a good night. And do you guys want to send off? It's always time to what, guys? It's always time to. That's right. Thank you. Like, I'm not doing that. All right, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.